stand to my feet now because Queen, do I need to stand up now? And there you go.
Happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you so much, First Lady. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get comfortable in my Father's Day.
And your Father's Day?
On my Father's Day.
Well,
Yeah.
happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Happy Father's Day.
Welcome to Chatting with
Happy
the Clays.
Happy Father's Day. Yes, to all the fathers.
Father's Day 2022.
2022.
Yeah. And a lot of it's, we just thank God that we're still here, alive and well, and all that good stuff, right?
Right,
Yep,
right,
yep.
right.
So it's another Father's Day. You know what I meant to do? I forgot. I was going to count how many Father's Days that we've had since it's been a holiday, a national holiday.
When was it first a holiday?
I can't remember. It was 19. It came in after, of course. No, was it after or before Mother's Day? I can't remember. But I was looking at that this morning.
I should look that up.
Let's see. But anyway, I was going to count that little small fact.
Okay.
So we just want to say Happy Father's Day again to each and every one of you. And we just hope today that you're having a day of relaxation and enjoying the people that you most love in your life, fathers, and to the women and the children that you're enjoying making Father's Day great or special for that man in your life that you call father. So I was listening to a podcast on Friday, I believe it was, and they were talking about how come fathers usually don't get as much as mothers do.
Right.
And it was men talking, so it was coming from their perspective. And anyway, in the nutshell, they were saying the reason why most fathers don't get as much is not for the obvious reason that people say, but a lot of times fathers feel like, you know, they're the provider, they're the protector, and they're this, they're the that.
Right.
And they're saying, you know, we don't need all that. We don't want all that. And of the three men that were talking, they were saying, two of them said, well, I just want a day of relaxation. The ones that I just want to be able to take a nap. And, you know, they all had children. Some of them were younger. One of them had children of college age and I think a married daughter. And, you know, he was just saying that he, you know, there was really nothing that he could think of that he wanted, and he just wanted to relax. And they kind of all agreed that there was nothing they could come up with. You know, they were both, the three of them were saying, when I'm asked what I want for Father's Day, I really can't come up with anything, you know. So anyway, that's our starting point, huh?
Wow.
So
yeah, you was talking, I was thinking. Yeah.
Yep. So,
go ahead.
So that's where we were.
I was looking at man, there's so many things about Father's Day, and I was trying to make a point today as I was preaching.
Yeah, good message.
And it just wasn't. I still don't feel like I hit the mark, because when you look at Father's Day, we look at father, we look at word dad.
Let me get this. It's 50th anniversary of Father's Day.
50?
50th.
Oh, wow. So that means
it was made, no other official declaration was made in 1966. 8 years later, in 1972, Congress passed an act to officially make Father's Day a national holiday.
So it's 1972?
1972.
But it was birthed in?
Well, it was saying President Lyndon
B. Johnson.
Signed an executive order that Father's Day be celebrated on the third Sunday of June in 1966.
Okay.
But 8 years later, in 1972, Congress passed the act to officially make Father's Day.
Got it.
Yep. So 50 today. Maybe that's why it was in the back of my mind somewhere. You know, sometimes you read things, you know, and you kind of file it in the back of your mind. So maybe that's why that was on my mind.
And you know, the thing about, you know, again, fathers versus dads, and we talk, and you know, there's different words and stuff that is used and whatnot. But I was looking at, because I wanted to see out the difference between a, you know, if you know, what's the difference between a father and a dad, or sometimes they say somebody call them pops, or so many different titles, but
And we know pops is pretty much short, you know,
Yeah.
shortened for. But yeah, that's interesting.
yeah. But there's I think the thing that stands out, and I don't know what title they would come under, but the love that father has. So I don't know when to put it under a category. I talked
Okay,
about
come
it or
on,
not.
come on, come on.
You know, I mean, I talked about it a little bit today, and I talked about the father of the prodigal son. I wanted to get into his mind. I wanted to really get into his mind, you know. And then I thought about God. God is our father.
God is our father.
You know, so then, and so we use father, we know, is that biological term that is used when you have a child, you know, who's your father, or you're the father of. Then the word dad. A lot of times dad is the labor or the laborer. You know, my dad works at such and such a place, or my dad, you know, when we was coming up, my dad had his own business. Or so when you look at the word father and the word dad, normally when you use the word dad and you brag about my dad's occupation, if you never said what's your father's occupation, normally what's your dad's occupation, you know, and then the father as a father figure, you know, but how many children have you fathered? So if you say, well, you know, I fathered, you know, 10 kids, but doesn't mean that you was a provider. So what is it?
What's
Is
the
it,
difference? I'm
Yes.
looking here and it says, a dad gives guidance to his children or family on top of supplying them with the basic necessities of life.
the provider?
A father is someone who contributes to the physical creation of a child from whom has been obtained to fertilize a woman.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So should it be Father's Day or Dad's Day? Because we really talk about, if we're celebrating the we're actually celebrating the provider, not the biological one. The biological, because some have the biological father, but there was somebody else that really was the dad
well,
in their life. So I mean, this, you know, I was thinking about it then, and you can help me out. Then I talked about God.
yeah.
You know, I was bringing in,
But God is the father. The Bible never refers to him as being dad.
no, but when we talked about He is our Father, we put it in. You know, God will be your mother if you're motherless. He'll be
and
your father if you're fatherless. You know, and you know what I'm saying. We talk it, we say it, but on Father's Day, would you rather be called a father or dad? And I think with the two of them, I believe it's the love. And so I was throwing things up because I thought about, I have a need. And as I have a need really to represent a father or dad. But the love that I have for my children as a father, it's more than just me have fathered them.
Right.
Am I making any sense? So maybe you can untangle this.
No, you can. This is Father's Day.
Well, because
listen, I'm throwing the mic back to you.
Yeah, but okay, what if we called it Dad's Day? Would it be a difference?
I don't think so. Because you're still talking about the paternal part of who you are.
All right.
And not the maternal.
Okay, so what happens if since I fathered your children, but I wasn't there for them?
You were asking if that would be a difference. That's my answer.
Okay.
Because I would think it's still a dad and a father. So if it was called Dad's Day, it's still representing the paternal part of that person.
Okay.
So it's just like Mother's Day and Mom's Day.
Okay.
Mother's Day and Mom's Day. Mom's Day is the same. It would just be representing the maternal part of who you are. So that's what I would say in answer to that. But, now going where you're going, talking about the, the meaning, I'm just saying that, maternal and paternal part. So when you talk about person actually being there, providing that nurturing or just providing the necessities of what you need, and that could go both ways, even with a mother.
Okay, listen, can I
So this is Father's Day. So this is.
Okay, can I pour some concrete?
You can pour concrete.
Let's pour
blacktop.
Let's pour some concrete and let it set up so it'll be hard.
Okay.
There have been so many dysfunctional families, and out of dysfunctional families, children that came, and there's been so many arguments about with fathers, with sons. And dads, or fathers and dads, however. Well, you were never around. Yes, you're my father, but you've never been around. And so sometimes, and they were raised up in a single parent family because the father wasn't there. Well, I think just what you read, a father is one that fathered the child, through the biological. Right. But then, and you're a dictionary. You're a walking dictionary. But then it says a dad is considered to be a provider.
Right.
Right. So we interchange both of them. But when it comes down to, sometimes it's like you was my father, but someone else was my real dad. You didn't raise me. And in this season that we're living in, I was trying to look up the statistics of how many paternal fathers were in the households. And I couldn't get. I was trying to get the stats, but time.
Well, that would be a very researchable topic that you could go.
Because on Father's Day, it really we get the business more than the mothers.
What do you mean the business?
When I get the business, is because there's so many single parent households that the father is not there.
Yeah, but on the same, again, that's brought out so much too. But what about those households where the father was there and is there? And what about the households where the father raises the children? Because remember, that's that first Father's Day. What
we
was
call
the
him
little
Mr.
girl's
Moss.
Name? She wanted to recognize her father because her mother had died.
Oh, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So
yes.
there are a lot
Yeah.
of fathers, and there's a lot of good fathers. You know, there's a lot of stepfathers that have stepped in and been good fathers to children whose biological father wasn't around.
Okay, stop there. I mean, I don't cut you off, but you
Yeah.
said something. There are a lot of stepfathers. But what you read is a father is one that biologically.
Right.
So the stepfather did not biologically do anything. Not biologically.
Well, okay, stepdad, however you want to
Right?
call it. But I'm just saying they're
and that's my point. So they don't call them father, they call them dads.
okay.
Right? Because the dad is the one that, I think you read that, the dad is the one that
Yeah, I'm looking at this again.
did the labor or the provider. So if you say a stepfather, then a stepfather is not the biological father. They just stepped in, right, to do the work, which now then it would be considered dad.
Okay.
So no, I mean, I was just thinking, because on this day, what do we do we celebrate fathers or dads, or are they work?
Men.
Well, let's celebrate men. I think you may get some not smiley faces, But then, I guess I said that not in the argumentative side, but I was really looking at the love as a father. I don't think you can put me in a category as father or dad. I think the love that I have for my children, I don't know, you can help me out. Because I have to be in one of the categories.
Well, now
Go ahead.
You have to tell me, because this is Father's Day.
Yes.
So I can't talk from a man's perspective.
Right. Okay. So help me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's fathers and dads.
Okay.
I think.
Agreed.
Now I think there's fathers that are dads. And I think there's fathers and I think there's dads. I think there's fathers that have not been there for the children, but they're biological. And I think there's dads that are not the biological fathers, but they have taken up the mantle and have been a step father or a stepdad. But then I think there's some men are both. They are there are dad and father. Am I making any sense?
Yep.
That thing was in my mind, and I was as today's Father's Day just to unravel it.
Yeah.
Would you agree or disagree? Or is it a play of words? Is it, because what you just the information that you just gave, there is a difference.
Okay.
So when I look at myself, I'm yes, the biological father, but yet I'm the dad because I'm the provider. But then it goes a step further. I have that love that God has given me for my children, and so I have to bring him in on Father's Day. I really did not know. I really did not know. Leave me alone. I really did not know. Really, how God's intent for man to be the head of a family until I got saved. Growing up around, and back then men, they were, well, I use it in the area of where we was raised. There was more single parent families than households that had mother and father.
Okay.
I think I've said this once before, and I'll say it again. I thought it was kind of funny when I went to school. And it was what did they call, not PTA, you know, when the parent went to school to check on, see how the children were doing. Well, what was that called?
Conferences.
Conference. Wow. But I thought they had another word for it.
Well, the PTA is a Parent Teacher Association.
Okay, so it was something else. But anyway,
No, those were conferences.
okay. And we would laugh at children when when the father showed up with the mother. We used to tease them. Said, "Oh,
Not getting.
your dad came with your mother to school," and I thought that was so funny because most of us that went to school, our father wasn't around, so we thought something was wrong with them. Because mother and dad showed up, but didn't know that it was the ones we were the ones that was I want to say the oddballs, you know. So
Well, if that was the norm of the day, then you weren't the oddballs, because you were saying that was normal.
right, but when as you grow and when I accepted Christ, and started really understand the role that God has placed on mankind and His job, where He should be, where He should be positioned at, even when it comes down to fathering children, and providing for them what His role is. And I think the greatest part of that is, I think, the love that a man has for his children.
Okay, now let me ask you this though. What was the defining factor before salvation? Because you were a father before you got saved. What was that defining moment for you to say, this is my child and I'm going to do X, Y, Z? What? Love them, take care of them, provide for them, whatever. What was that moment for you as a man that you said, or did you just not think about it? And because even in your message, you were saying that male children need that male example in their lives, and women can only be an example up to a point, and then they need that male example. So your first child is a son.
Correct.
Is our oldest son.
Yes.
And what was the defining factor? Because when we had him, you weren't saved.
Correct.
So what was that defining moment? Because see, I've been there from the beginning up until this point.
And you're doing pretty good as an interviewer. You're doing a good job, because now you got my wheels turning. It was wanting to be with my child from the beginning. When I tell you what, when I saw him, when I saw his hands, little hands, and his feet, and I'm looking, now I'm not being saved, but this is something that I assisted in producing. That blew my mind. It was actually kind of scary,
Okay.
It was really scary because, a little being that's,
Not being, B-E-A-N.
no, being.
A B-E-I-N-G.
Yeah, right, there you go. Not a being.
Sound like you said little bean.
Well, you know what?
He was a little bean.
Yeah, so
5 pounds, 8 ounces, little bean.
and I said, I wanted to be a part of his life from the beginning. And my goodness, the first time that I finally, they didn't force me to hold him, because I didn't want to pick him up because he was so small. That
Who's
was
they?
the nurses.
Oh.
Well, you wasn't out of it, but you did work. You worked. Was it 3 o'clock in the morning? When did you have?
4.
Was it 4 o'clock? So you worked a little. Well, it didn't work too long, but
No.
you know, yeah. But that's when the wheels and the gears start turning. I wanted to be a part of his life from the beginning.
So actually seeing.
Seeing the. Oh, here we go. That by me helping produce him, the biological side, you know, yeah, and see him. Oh my goodness, wow, this is real. You know, now I've seen other babies, but they seen other babies like nieces and nephews. It was totally different. You know, it was a different world. So I that's the part that I wanted to. Since I fathered him, you know, now I can talk about that. I want to be a dad, you know. So that's why we're looking at the fathering a child is the biological side. You know, you fathered this is you fathered this kid, male or female, this human.
Because
this
you had
baby.
made this statement that until you got saved.
Yeah.
So before you got saved, it was emotional.
I believe, you know what? It was emotional and it was the unknown. It was both. It was emotional and the unknown. You've never been a father before, you don't know. When you've never had a child before, you don't know. You know what? You do not know how you're going to turn out. What kind of job you're going to do. And really, right today, now this is interesting. Right today, I don't think there's not a gauge that has been created to say if you have been successful or not as a father. The only thing you know is when your children show you love, that give you love back that you've shown them. And as I tell people, I said, you know what, if you're not an educator, if you are limited in resources, if you have not been able to give them some of the best things that you can for them, if you can give them love, I believe that's it. And that's all I've given. I know you can say, you're their mother, you can say more things about it, but my main goal was just to love them.
Well, I think I can say, because you said there's no gauge
that can say. Because, you know what, I don't know, because you look at successful, I can sit back now and say, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that. I can say, I wish I had done a lot of things. And so to me, if you was to ask me, do you think you've been successful and raised, I couldn't answer that question.
Well, I think you can, because I think we can echo the words of Solomon, what he said about a mother. I think we can flip that. Your children will rise up and call you blessed.
Oh.
And I think that's the gauge that you can use.
When your children tell you, and that's the point I was, and that's the
because
point.
That's who you're a father to. You're not a father to anybody but your children.
Right.
So I think that, that's the meter that says that's what success is. Success is, like you said, after you've put the love and the all that you've put into them, and they rise up and call you blessed. I think that's the meter. That's the only true meter anybody could use if you want to meter that. What Solomon said.
But you said it. You said you're the only one that fathered them. So you're going back to the biological side.
No, that's not. No,
that's not what you said.
No, I was saying you fathered them, so they would have to call you.
Yeah.
So that's the point I was making out of that. Not.
I got you.
So I think that would be the gauge that you can use, because again, Solomon is saying, all of the stuff that, all of the things that a woman puts into her children, that at the end of the day, if the children, when they're adult, say, my mom is blessed because X, Y, and Z. In other words, she was a great woman. That's what blessed me, because to me, because of these things. I think we could say the same thing for that male parent. That when your children rise up and call you blessed, that's that meter. That's that thing that you can use as a gauge.
Listen, I don't like to do this because, we talk about that, about your phone, but this was I don't know, I think you did you get this picture? Mm-hmm. You got this picture. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could show it, but again, we have podcasts so wouldn't be able to see it anyway. Mm-hmm. But that picture speaks of, when it talks
volumes.
about a picture is worth
1,000
words.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at, and I said, I was just blessed for those that can't see. Let me tilt that right there. Can't see that. I was blessed to be with my sons on Father's Day, and I did not. I can't recall when there was a time that I was with my adult children, and they have children on Father's Day.
Yeah, we
have. But I just don't recall when it was. This has been a long time.
Because we keep getting additions.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's it. And it was.
So it may not have been that group. It may be this group.
Maybe so. Yeah.
There's 8 now.
Because there's 6 boys and 2 girls. But I said, and I told him yesterday. I said, it was Saturday. I said, I wished them. I said, Happy Father's Day, even though it wasn't Father's Day. But I said, Happy Father's Day. Now I said that, and I embraced them, and we embraced each other and whatnot, hugged, and they wished me back Happy Father's Day. And to me, what is so interesting, I am a father, and they're fathers. My sons are fathers and dads. My sons are fathers/dads. Why? And let me tell you why it was interesting. And if there is a badge of honor that a father could have, that you could wear on your chest, would be to see your sons love their children as much or more as you have. And to me, that is such a rewarding experience. Because really what they're doing is...
Yeah, so Sister Erin says reciprocating what has been poured into them.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Sister Erin. Because we put in our children, and then when it comes out, it's like, wow, but this is what we put in them. And so to see my sons at different occasions enjoy their boys. Let me see, we have like Demaya and son, they have the girls. No, not Demaya. Misha, son have the girls, and Quentin has his boys, and son has.
You were saying Misha and son both have girls,
right? And I was trying to, since it's Father's Day, I was looking at my sons and how they interact with their children. That's my point. To see men, older men, fathers with their sons. Quentin has the youngest. Nathan Andrew is over a year and some. He's not 2 yet. And Ethan Michael, so he is the youngest. And then son, the youngest. So, but to see them a male, an older male with a younger male, that engagement. And I remember how I used to wrestle with them. You know, he used to tell me, "You're too rough. You're too rough." I throw them and they get up. I kick them and push them down. You know, "You too rough."
Now you didn't throw them. Come now, you did the wrestling moves, toss them.
So I tossed them, right? I mean, I didn't.
Whatever.
Okay.
Those wrestling moves you guys did. I'm like,
That was
don't be doing my babies
See
like
that?
that.
And you said, but the flip side is, that was the introduction because I'm looking at, I want my boys to be tough.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the proud, another proud jewel of a father is, you got tough sons, you know. But for my mother say, "You gonna hurt my baby?" I'm not gonna hurt you.
That lion. That lion.
I'm not going
alpha male.
I'm not gonna hurt your baby.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then they're doing the same thing with theirs, as I did with mine. They wrestle with them. They flip them. They, you know.
But you also showed them love. I mean, that was the tough part.
Yeah.
You know, again, because male was always looked at as being, you know, make sure the boys are tough.
Yeah.
You know, when we were growing up, we were in that era. Boys don't cry. Or you're okay. You know, if you break a leg in 5 places, oh, you're a man, you're okay. They don't cry. You just hobble along and you'll get fixed. And
I did it.
Yeah. So that was.
Wait a minute, and you got so mad at me.
Yeah, but I was saying that's the day we grew up, you know, and that was reciprocated because the male, while you were younger, they did the same thing, you know. But also, I can say I've witnessed you hug your sons.
Yeah.
I've witnessed you love on your sons, and I've witnessed you cry together. I've witnessed you being really proud of them and saying, "I'm proud of you."
Yes.
You know, and those kind of things. So it's all of that being poured into them.
And listen, if you're watching this now, you know, my sons, I love you, and I've said on the national platform. Happy Father's Day to both of you. I love you.
And you have
son.
said that to them, you know,
Yeah.
and so.
Yeah, pushing them. And you know what? Listen, I didn't have that. When you asked me earlier how that began, I wanted that. So when I saw a son, you know, but I didn't know it. I didn't know that all of that would be a part. I did not know that you could cry with your sons. You know, I didn't know that you could cry with your son. You could cry with your sons and the young men.
Right.
I didn't know that. There's so many things that when you don't have that in your life and you miss it, and if you become...
Well, you don't know you miss it if you don't have it.
Yes, you're right. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me process that one. You're right. I agree with you, but there's a
Well, I wasn't asking for an agreement. I just slid that in.
Yeah, I mean, you slid it in because
for your response.
You can't. Well, you know what? Listen, you can't miss it if you don't have it, but you can desire it.
Okay, fair.
You can desire something that you don't have, but you can't miss it. If you miss it, you've already have it. Yeah, you're right. So I think it's a desire.
Yeah.
Because
I was going to ask too. You know, is there anyone that you desire to model your fatherhood after? Because you were saying it wasn't there.
Right.
However, he was in your life, so it's not like you didn't know him.
Right.
But you didn't have that relationship.
Right.
That you desired, maybe.
Right.
Can I say it like that?
I don't.
Or you didn't have that relationship that you have with your son now.
Right.
Your sons.
Right. And that relationship was birthed through
Not having.
not having.
Okay. Well, I shouldn't have said that.
No,
Sounds
no,
like
no,
I'm
no,
feeding you.
no,
But
no, because
yeah.
that's what I talked about today about the father and the prodigal son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the older son didn't understand that. You know, he got angry with his dad because, you know,
Time it is.
am I past my time?
No.
He got
I'm
angry.
thinking out loud.
The older son got angry with his father, how he treated the younger son after what he did to his father. But the father said, listen, you've been with me all. You haven't missed anything. You know, and everything I have, you have it. But look, he didn't have, but he came back. So this is I guess at the beginning, as let me back up a little bit. Would you allow me to back up? When you're a young man and you're single, if you have not biologically have any children, and you do have them, first of all, I pray that you find a wife. He that find a wife find a good thing. And if you do father, even out of wedlock, that does not mean that you cannot be there for your child. The relationships, or you grow into a lot of things. I grew in the unknown. I never had a child before. I don't know what to do. So, you know what? Some books sometimes can get you there.
Right.
I mean, you can study, you can read, but until you have the real deal, it's a whole different world.
Well, there used to be a saying that said experience is the best teacher. Not always, but in some things, experience is the best teacher.
A book can't tell you how to feel.
Right.
When you touch little toes, little hands, that book can't.
And you're asleep and they go up your nose.
Your nose and a book can't tell you.
It can't tell
a book
you
can't
that.
teach you that.
And when you put them out of the bed and they come
yes.
back, crawl out of their crib, find their way back.
And a book don't tell you how kids can run you out of your own bed. And you end up sitting on the couch and all your kids are in the bed on your side. And you got to go to work and don't get a good night's sleep. A lot of stuff, that I had to learn and mature in it. Then you beat yourself because you feel like, man, I could have done a better job. I look at what you don't know. Some people know and learn from what they know. I've learned by what I don't know. Me not knowing to me has been the greatest teacher than me do knowing. I've learned more things about being a father and a dad not knowing than I have now that I do know. Doesn't make any sense to you. And I think, and out of that, it's been the underpinning of my life as a father and now as a grandfather. I can shake my head and say grandfather. It's love. That's been the underpinning.
Now, can I ask you, I know you're in the middle of a thought.
Yeah.
But you...
Oh, man, it's father, you got me, my mind's running. No tears will fall, but my mind's running.
Yeah, you're just a big marshmallow.
Yeah, I'm just a marshmallow.
But in looking at your two sons, life is not over yet.
Right.
And looking at your two sons up to this point, can you say you feel like that you have put into them what you wanted to put into them, or you you accomplished the things that you wanted to put into them
You know what?
so far?
I would say it's more than that. Let me tell you, and I just thought about this not too long ago. I am so proud because they are better than what I am.
Wow.
They're better than me. They are so intelligent. That is just, I sit in awe. Matter of fact, when I'm in their presence, I feel like they're in college and I'm in elementary school.
Wow.
And actually, they're on a different level than I am. And that makes, I'm not even in the same category as they are. And that's what makes me golly proud.
Wow.
Yeah. I tell them all the time, I say, man, y'all awesome. You know, y'all, they teach me. You know. And not only they teach me, but they push me to be better.
Wow.
They at 64 years old, they see things in me still, and they push me to do better. You know, and they won't let me be tired.
Or you won't let them be tired.
Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
And so they have superseded.
Lost my screen here.
They have superseded me. And what an accomplishment that, I mean, I think any father would, to see that happen right before your eyes. I mean, you gotta get no prouder than that. And that's even, you know what, even with their mistakes. Even with their mistakes. You know, because I don't think there's been a bigger sinner than me. I haven't saw one yet.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm saying, man.
So how do we compare sin?
Sin is
You're saying a bigger.
Yeah.
But all sin is sin.
Yeah. But there's lowercase sin and there's capital sin. Both of them sin. Just one lowercase
sin.
and one capital. See, I was older. You know, you got the older sin, you got the younger sin. So
Wow. Sin is sin. All sin is sin.
all sin is sin. Oh my goodness.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
good stuff. That's
Yeah.
good stuff. That's good stuff. But when your
And
children,
wait a minute. And then what's really funny? They getting gray hairs.
they're getting gray hairs.
But I got more than they have. Yeah, but they get gray hairs. That's funny. That's funny.
That's time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
wisdom.
Yeah, that's something. So I am really, and my grandsons, oh my goodness, you know, and my prayer is that my grandsons be like their fathers.
But your granddaughters, they say, Papa, I'm going to marry a man like you.
Yeah, they say that. And I
Because
say,
you spoiled my mom.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
So they want that.
Yeah,
And they're like, Papa,
yeah.
I'm going to marry a
Yeah,
man like
yeah,
you.
yeah.
But
And you know what? That's something that even, you know, this is, you pick this up. This is golden nuggets. However you start out. Oh, are you writing this down?
golden
Nugget. However you start out with your spouse, if you can't keep it up, don't start it. Because what you start, you got to finish it. You got to continue.
golden nuggets.
That's it. If you can't keep it up, don't start it. If you can afford to keep it up, keep doing it. But if you can't, in other words, don't fool them.
Don't fool them. Oh, yeah.
Listen, if you got a boot and a shoe, let them know up front. This is what
You
I
got a
got,
boot and a shoe.
You know, that's all I got now. That don't mean I can't get something else, but right now. So if everything else fails and I don't go no further, at least I have a boot and a shoe.
A boot and a shoe.
I'm trying to tell you something.
Yeah, yeah. But that's good stuff. I think being a parent, period, whether you're the female parent or the male parent, is something that cannot be taught anyway, no matter how many books are written. And we all have our individual experiences up to that point, up to the point where we become parents. And I think in everyone's life, we can all agree on two things. We said what we were going to do if we ever became a parent, and what we were not going to do when we became a parent. So parenting is a personalized experience that no matter how long you've been a parent, how many times removed you're a parent, because you're a grandparent. You can be a great grandparent and a great, you know, however long the Lord allows us to live. So that's a personalized experience that you can talk about your experiences and pray and hope that your wisdom and knowledge about your experiences can be passed on. And like you said, you said something that was so powerful. And I understood how you meant it. I don't know if, you know, the listening audience, the viewing audience could understand it that same way. I know what you were putting out when you said, my sons are better than I am, you know. And I think a parent, a loving parent, because to say good, everybody's level of good is relative to what they've experienced. But a loving parent always will want their child to be better than them, because we know our own flaws, our own personal inefficiency and all those kind of things. So we say we want our children to be better than us in these ways. But I've always told our children, success to me is them becoming adults and being able to take care of themselves and stand on their own 2 feet. And if they don't become the president of the United States, if they don't become a billionaire, trillionaire, anything like that, because they're able to stand on their own 2 feet and take care of themselves and their own responsibility, I personally feel like I've been successful.
Yes.
To me, that's success.
You're right.
So we all have a different level of expectation of what successful parenting is, of what better than I was is, and all of these things, you know. So I think when we get to those levels, and that's why I was kind of pushing you when I said that bar or that meter that you're talking about, it's really not, it's different for all of us. But I think, as again, I'll go back to Proverbs, I think as Solomon said, when our children rise up and call us blessed, I've heard our children, all three of them, your 2 sons and our daughter, say that, Dad, you're great in my sight. Dad, you're this. I wouldn't trade you for the world. That to me, that's the meter that says, you know, you've been a great father. You know, you've been successful. That you're someone that your children are never ashamed of, never run away from being, I'm Gilbert Clay Sr.'s son or daughter. You know, these are the things that we push for as we're raising children, you know, as we pour into them love and principles, all these things, you know, these are the things that we pour into our children. So I think those are the things that make us successful, if you will, in parenting. And we don't have all the same tools to parent with. You know, my parents weren't $1 trillion parents. So to say that I want, you know, they wanted our money to match theirs, but they gave us love. They loved us in how they knew to love. And I think as we become adults in life, we slowly, and I say slowly because I think through different phases of our lives, we can look back through those different eyes. And I think we can slowly see, as we grow in life, that when it comes to parenting, when it comes to mothers and fathers, they loved us to the point that they knew how.
Yes, right. Yes, right. Right with what they had.
With what they had
They-
and with what they knew. And like you said, some parents may not have had their parents in the home, so they didn't know how to do that. And like you said, you learned from what you didn't have.
Right.
And as our children grow up, they're going to be able to see those things that where they may have said, like we did, when I become a father, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to do that. My daughter, when I become a mother, I'm going to do this or not do that. But as they grow, they're going to see and they're going to understand that, you know what? But mom did love me. But dad did love me.
Right.
But they loved me to the point where that's how they knew how to show love, you know.
Right. Because listen, you every father has to cut his own path.
Yeah.
And I said it earlier, when you have not been in this way before,
Right.
you don't know what to do.
Right.
You don't know. Do you remember? Well, let's take your first son. I remember you saying, "Don't hold him like that," you know, and then you know, then you said, "Well, he ain't gonna break." Now make up your mind. Don't hold him like that. He ain't gonna break. Now, which one is it? I'm confused.
Yeah.
That right there.
Yeah.
But there's something that I don't know how much time we have left. If there's any fathers that are out there, I think if I would tell you, first of all, love you some God. Love you the only true and living. Love the only true and living God. There's only one true and living God. I keep saying that. Then this is a goal for every father that's listening, whether you're on podcast, where you viewing this live stream today. This is what you can strive for. Strive for being that hero to your children. Don't let them look at a comic book character as their hero. You be the hero. Now that's a big feat there.
Yes.
Don't let them look at what's the one, Black Panther. You be the Black Panther in their life.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
That's what I would say.
Good
Father's
stuff.
Day.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Great, Pastor. Great. I think it was a great topic. Very befitting for Father's Day.
You did a great job.
And continue to be the great father that you are.
Well, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're so kind.
Now, I don't have to be kind. I live with you.
Well,
So I know the true of who you are.
you want me to pay you now or I'll pay you later?
You pay me later.
Okay, thank you. I'll pay you later.
But again, happy Father's Day
Thank
to
you so
each
much.
and every one
Happy
of you.
Father's Day, yes.
Hopefully this
To
was
my brothers, to my fathers.
to your
Hey.
fathers.
Yes.
A thought-provoking conversation today. And just continue to love your children.
Yeah. Do that.
And
Do that, man.
They'll understand.
Do that, man.
And as we say in the church, they'll understand it better by and
Yeah,
by.
yeah.
But they'll understand, just like we all have as we grow up. They'll understand. Just continue to love them.
And if your father is alive, call your father.
Yeah.
If you're in a situation where your relationship is strained, call them.
Yeah.
In spite of, you know what I'm talking about when I say in spite of. Call them.
Yeah.
Just call them
Yeah.
and say, Happy Father's Day.
Yep.
Because God is love. Just call them. Love covers a multitude of sin or faults. Either one.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
We'll see you next week.
If the Lord says the same day is coming, be blessed. my brothers and sisters, I pray that this was a blessing unto you. First Lady Clay, would you like to say anything?
Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. Leave a comment. God bless.